Good day, Desert Wayfarers. This is going to be the second video in a series of videos that I'm making to introduce the first timer or the beginner to walking, trekking, and camping in the desert. In the first video, we discussed what clothes to wear, how to protect yourself from the three elements that can negatively affect your trip into the desert, and that's sun and sun's associate heat and sand. And remember, we always say sand is our nemesis. It can ruin your trip very quickly. So kind of putting sand aside, the biggest challenge to traveling in the desert is water and water consumption, so hydration. Even now that we're coming up to winter, you still need to carry a lot of water with you. Water is critical for your well-being and survival out in the desert. So, here it is, water. You need it and you need to carry it. And we're going to talk about what, in my opinion, is the best way to carry water out in the desert. Now, the best way to carry water, the one vehicle, the one container that never negatively affects water is, of course, glass. But unfortunately, glass is super heavy, it breaks, so it's not the ideal choice for us to use as a water bottle while out camping in the desert. So, I love water out of glass. It tastes like water. It's not contaminated with any other outside elements, but it's something that we just can't carry out in the desert with us. So let's look at your next option, and I'm going to kind of go on a little rant and rave about this. This is the Smart Water Bottle. And I don't understand why this is the preferred method of carrying water by every backpacker, camper, ultralight walker, influencer on the internet, on Instagram, on YouTube, why they can continually use the Smart Water Bottle. It is a plastic disposable water bottle. Okay, and I've talked about this in the past, is that you're contaminating the water with the plastic. Okay, so I am confused. I wish one of you influencers who has thousands and thousands of followers could contact me and tell me why you continually use this water bottle. Why do you use plastic water bottles? So for us in the desert, plastic heats up. Okay, I'm not a chemist, but my understanding is as you heat up plastic, you're contaminating the water that you're drinking. So going outside in any environment, if you're going out in the mountains, if you're going out in the woods, if you're going out in the jungle, if you're going outside in general, it's for your health. You're going out there to have fun and be healthy. Why then do you continue to carry plastic water bottles and you're contaminating yourself? You're essentially poisoning yourself with microplastics, microparticles when you drink water out of a plastic bottle. So I know if you're a first timer going out into the desert and you stop at your convenience store, you stop at a gas station, it's probably very, very easy to grab a plastic water bottle, a half a liter, and throw it in your pack and carry it out there. But I would encourage you not to do this because the long-term negative effects that drinking water out of plastic has on you, it's unhealthy. So please don't do it. But again, I understand why you might want to do it if you're a first-time hiker, walker out into the desert. So keep that in mind. Not promoting this at all. Okay. So what then is our best vehicle, our best water bottle to carry water out in the desert to? Okay, so that is going to be your classic stainless steel water bottle. Okay, stainless steel, like glass, does not contaminate, does not affect the water that's inside of it. Okay, you can heat these up, you can cool them down. You can do all kinds of stuff with a metal, specifically a stainless steel water bottle. So my recommendation is when out in the desert, when out hiking, you carry a stainless steel water bottle and not just one. Okay, so let's talk about the desert is the desert. There is no water out there. The definition of a desert is it's an arid, hyper-arid environment. Okay? You're not going to find streams. You're not going to be able to dig down to find groundwater. You're not going to make a solar still, and even if you did make a solar still, the amount of water that you would accumulate through hours and hours and hours of this process would not be enough to keep you hydrated, especially if you're out in the summer. So you need to be prepared to carry a lot of water with you. And when I talk about a lot of water, I'm talking about 4 or 5 1-liter bottles. So 1 liter is equivalent, it is equal to 1 kilogram. So if I'm carrying 5 liters of water, that's 5 kilograms of water, and that would be what, 11 pounds? Somebody correct me, it's 2.2. Yeah, so a lot of water. You need to carry a lot of water out there. So think about that when you start to explore the desert. Now, we certainly are coming up to winter and the cooler months, and you may be able to get away with carrying less, but I would say no less than 3 liters of water when you're going out in the desert. And I'm not talking about if you're just going, 100, 200 meters away from the car and you can see the car and you can get back, or if you're going on a guided tour, or you're kind of going on a scheduled design safari kind of trip, they have water for you. I'm talking about if you're traveling in an unsupported manner, how much water you actually have to carry. So the other thing that I have is this big 2-liter bottle of water. Okay, so usually I'll carry this, and this is a company called Clean Canteen. It's a company that I've done internet research on, and I kind of believe in their ethics and the way they conduct their business. It is a stainless steel bottle. Although the top is plastic, the liner within the top is metal, so there is no plastic actually contacting with the water. So Clean Canteen is something that I like to use. So this is a 2-liter water bottle, and then I will also carry the classic SIG water bottle. Okay, again, both of these are stainless steel. So even if they heat up, they're not contaminating the water. Now, sometimes I'll take a smaller half-liter, or the 750 milliliter, a smaller SIG water bottle. I might put water and electrolytes in this one. Okay, so the point of this video is you need to carry water. You need to have a lot of water, and again, the reason for it is sun and heat. Those are the two of the 3 elements that are always challenged by sun, heat, sand. Water is the thing you need to combat, if you will, the sun and the heat. You have to drink a lot of it. Now, I've done a whole video on electrolytes and how often you should drink water and when you should drink water. So check that out on my other on the main YouTube channel. And okay, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate this. So this is the second video on what the beginner needs before he or she heads out into the desert. We've discussed that here inside. We will now go off to the desert and look at the environment and the environment in which you actually are sitting around or walking around and drinking water. So off to the desert we go.